Hello again, everybody! Mr. McSquare here, coming at you from the second part of the 9th week of the Wild Coast server. So, I like to build with the resources around, which is a dark oak forest, and you can see most of my buildings are made out of dark oak, and birch, because those are the materials that are in the forest nearby. As you can see, dark oak, beautiful wood. Love using it. And the great thing about this forest is it has more than one material. And over here you can see there's lots of oak trees, and we got birch as well. But I've neglected something. It also has mushrooms. You can see them poking out the back, and they got brown and red mushrooms here. And I haven't really incorporated that in my builds. And if you watched my previous episode, I had just built an experience point machine. And I was wondering how to house it, what blocks to use, what palette to use. And it came to me that I haven't done mushrooms yet. And it just, you know, you have that inspiration moment, like, yes, mushrooms, especially these guys. The polka dotted red mushrooms, it's going to look beautiful. It's going to look beautiful. The red polka dot mushroom is what we want. Use Silk Touch, otherwise you're not going to get the block, you'll just get little mushrooms. I've got Silk Touch on my axe here, so you can see blocks will drop. And I will use those blocks for building my structure. And you can see them all floating around by me. Lots of them. They're all over this forest. Use what you've got. And I've got mushrooms. So, we'll collect all this up, and we'll see you over at the build site. Okay, this is my experience point machine, and I just put out a rough template around it. You can see that I'm going to have two buildings. There's one right around the experience point machine itself, and really it's a big cosmetic decoration to hide the big redstone apparatus behind it. Again, feel free to look at my other videos for a good tutorial on how to build that machine. But now we got to make it look pretty. And next door to it will be a smaller mushroom, and I want a witch to be in there, because one of the fundamental components of this machine to make it work is potions, specifically the infested splash infested potion. Anyway, and potions, two things come to mind: either the clerics or the witches. And witches are more fun than clerics. So we'll put witches next door. So I've got the basic structure, and I want the mushroom stalk, the stem, to be basically round. And to do that, we'll give it, because we're working with squares, a square center, and then each of the corners, we're going to have to round it off and soften it so that the eye sees more of a curve than it does a perfect square. Love these little polka dot red blocks, they're pretty. Okay, so first we'll just trim it so that there's no brick or wood sticking out. And the pale oak, the pale garden, where the pale oak comes from, just released this week. So this is my first time building with it. And as you can see, the pale oak really looks like mushroom stem, like just unbelievably so. So it's a beautiful fit for this build scheme. I'm sure there's other people out there with their own ideas for pale oak, but once you think mushroom and you put that on, man, it's perfect. Okay, so I'm not going to take the corner right to a point. I'm leaving the gap there, and we'll continue that on as an angle because we want the mushroom cap to look rounded. And it's just done by not squaring it off, by leaving angles on the corners. A couple other things that will help is on the corners I'll use red glass instead of solid blocks. And then because the glass is transparent, you can see through it. It won't look like as square. Your eye will soften it. Okay. Now mushroom caps aren't just flat, they'll have to drape down a bit. And I'm just gonna take you through the thought process and not bore you with every single block, because in your own worlds, your own mushrooms will have their own dimensions. But the thought process is, don't make it a square top, round it off, and on these hard corners, to soften it even more, we're gonna use glass. And we use red glass to blend as much as possible with what's going on here. I suppose I could have used white glass as well because it's got white polka dots, but we're going to go with red. Okay. And this, we just keep pulling it out, extending it, pulling it out until we run out of resources. Then we go farming again. And just keep pulling out that shape. Okay. And this is just to round it out, give it a little bit more transition. Consistently 1 block space from the outside. And then we'll put, like I said, glass in the corners at an appropriate height. And we'll have to leave a gap for that. And some more glass in the middle. And then up top here, again, one of the main ingredients for potion brewing is netherwort. So I'll stick a netherwort farm in the roof here. Otherwise, it's a big waste of space. What else is going to be up here? Netherwort. Yeah, that's appropriate. Plus, netherwort is red, so it blends well. If it was a different color, I would say it contrasts well, but no, it blends well. Okay, math is a little off. Nothing that we can't fix with a silk touch axe. Move that over one. Again, make sure you've got silk touch, otherwise these red blocks will just turn into red mushrooms for you instead of being mushroom blocks. Okay, 2 is kind of the minimum height. And then netherwort has to grow on soul soil. And before I close off the top of the mushroom, I just want to make sure I got enough space here. And netherwort doesn't require sunlight or light levels to grow. It's a bit of it's a fungus. So it's very forgiving on where you put it. And regardless, it still has glass windows. And we'll light up this room anyway because we don't want other monsters to spawn here. There's the netherwort. And this is more than enough to really supply the whole village and the other players. Okay, again, just now that it's tall enough, bring it up to a little bit of a close. And from the outside, it's got a gradual transition, and on the inside, it's hollow. So at this point, I'm making them the transition 2 blocks wide instead of 1 wide. Otherwise, it's just going to look like a diagonal staircase up. But when the grade changes from 1 block, 1 block, 1 block to all of a sudden 2 blocks, the eye draws a curve in its mind. And from the ground, I'll show you what it looks like. Up first, we'll stick a topper on this. like so. Such a pretty little block. And there, that rim's done. Later on I'll just stick a lantern up here and I'll throw some trapdoors on the side of the soul saw. You can see the curve of the mushroom cap, and then we'll bring it down and dress it up a little bit later. And then I love these pale blocks. Like, look at it. It just looks like mushroom stem. But much easier to farm than mushrooms. So even though it looks like mushroom, it's actually a wooden structure. But that palette, it's just the perfect color. As soon as we strip it, of course. Put down your logs. Keep the curve. And for texturing, you'll see later on that there will be some darker spots, and that's actual mushroom stem. And the actual mushroom stem is darker than the pale oak, but close enough that they complement each other instead of contrasting. And the really big thing I love about this is that it's a multiplayer server, and this machine is so useful to everybody on the server. And the function of it just makes me feel good. Okay, I'm gonna put some white windows on the lower levels because it's got mushroom stem. They'll have white windows, and the mushroom cap at the top I'll just keep with red windows. Then next door, it's only going to be a single floor. I won't bother wasting your time showing you that I'm just adding beds and bookshelves and whatnot to dress it up. But I'll give you a quick view of just the finished product. And it's basically a one-room house for a witch. Okay. Pale oak. Oh, nope, now it looks like mushroom stock. Beautiful. And then I'm just going to continue that concept all the way up and bring it to the stock, or rather the cap. The cap will drape down on all the sides because the tops of mushrooms actually aren't flat. They've got a bit of a lip. And then we'll just, I don't know, chain some lanterns for decoration. Spawn prevention. So, we got to get a witch. And the easiest way I know to guarantee a witch showing up is a raid. This is wave 3 of the raid, and you can see 3 witches are there. I only want one of them. Just one. Multiple witches, multiple problems. One witch is enough of a handful for me. Okay, one in there, and then we'll just remove his friends. And remember, every mob that you intend on keeping, name tag it or it's going to disappear. And you are Griselda. Griselda the witch. Okay. So doing a little bit of research before I do this, YouTube told me that if you go into a boat with a witch, the witch throws potions over your head and doesn't actually hit you. So maybe the witch just got me on the way into the boat. And if that's the case, that's fine. Yeah, poison sucks. Okay. Get this witch home. Wait a minute. Oh man, the witch just hit me with another potion. No. YouTube, you lied to me. You lied to me, YouTube. Liars! Dirty liars! Oh well. Well, test everything. Just because somebody tells you something doesn't mean it's true. Test it yourself. Let's try a boat dragon. Yeah, okay. So we got a tow line on them, and we're not going to drive in a straight line. We're just going to do a gentle zigzag, so that if he does throw a potion at me, it'll miss. And that worked out fine. But now I got to get him out of his boat and into the land boat. Come on, chase me, chase me. Look, there's a little boat here. Stupid poison. I should really do this with milk buckets next time. Okay, a bucket of milk will remove all of your effects. And I've got a whole farm of cows down here. So, stop with the potions already. Okay. So, coming back with a whole mess of milk buckets, you can see on my hot bar. I got 6 of them ready. And we're just going to tow that boat into the witch house. Haha, you hit the wall. Damn it! Okay, milk. Yes. Griselda, you're coming in home. Poisoned again. And whatever that was. Drink some milk. Drink some more milk. Come on. You're almost home. You're almost home. Okay, that's pretty close. Get you clear the door. That's a lot of milk. Okay, let's go refill the milk. Griselda's in her home, but let's go refill the milk before just finishing this up. 5 milk buckets in a very quick period of time. Okay, refilled the milk. She's in her house, but now I gotta get her out of the boat. Griselda's fungal house. Keep out. Okay, I'll just run through and collect everything. Get out. Drink my milk. My bones never felt so strong. Okay. Close that up. The signs clearly say keep out. I'll warn the other players when I see them. And there she is. She's in her mushroom house. Lovely little lanterns hanging. Looking through the window, she's got lots of artwork, some fungus down in planters, food on the table, bookshelf, a bed. But she ain't happy. No, she does not like me at all. Man, what's happening to this town? Got pillagers, got witches, got mushrooms. I love it. Coming to an end here. So those are my mushroom buildings. And you can see right behind me there, they blend so well in this dark oak forest theme. So that's it for me this week. I'm Mr. McSquare. If you like what you see, please hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll bring you more stuff next week. Bye-bye.